going on, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching from? Thank you for watching. You are watching the greatest thing on MMA social media since sliced bread, and that is MMA Reloaded. And folks, tonight we have a huge show for you. It is episode 28 of MMA Reloaded Real Talk, the show where we talk real, we never lie, cheat and steal. I've never lied, maybe once, never cheated. I can't really say that. But yeah, we never lie, cheat, and steal here at MMA Reloaded. And folks, tonight we are in the midst of fight week, where Alistair Overeem this Saturday night will take on Augusto Sakai. And of course, folks, you will see Michelle Pereira on that card as well, folks. And it is going to be a magnificent card, even though no title on the line, is going to be a great card, folks. And the rest of 2020 is shaping up to be a great year, even though it may not be a great year for planet Earth and everyone in the world. So I retract that statement. may not be a great. I mean, it's a great year in MMA. Yeah, let's just put it that way. Folks, tonight, folks, I would also like to thank you guys for joining us. Last episode with Ryan the Trueland, episode 27, man. We go at it all the time. I go live with Ryan. We go at it back and forth about the hottest topics in mixed martial arts. And folks, today I sit with a man, one of the youngest phenoms in mixed martial arts, a man who strives to be just as great as his idol George St. Pierre, a man who had that chance last week on the Contender, 2 weeks ago on the Contender against Mike Breeden, where he came out with a victory. It was impressive. One of the most impressive wins I've ever seen. Anthony the Genius Romero. Now, folks, he is a sensation. It was a sensational performance. It was smart. It was smart. It was he showed such a high mixed martial arts fight IQ at 23 years old, to show that much maturity, to have that fight IQ and display it fully on the biggest stage of them all. I don't know what the fuck was going through Dana White's mind then, yeah? But not to award Anthony Romero a contract to the UFC is a fucking outrage, yeah? And that is bullshit, folks. So we will talk about that, of course, with Anthony Romero, and we will talk about a lot of other things going on in this young man's career, and what's next for him. Yeah, folks, I mean, it's always bamboozled me as to why Dana White only wants finishers. Yeah, that means his fight IQ is about as much as Cindy Lauper's, man. Yeah, it's bullshit, bro. Yeah, you want guys who have the talent. You want guys who are sensations. Yeah, you want guys who have that mixed martial arts maturity, that fight IQ to put on great performances. You don't have to be a violent, powerful guy to be a great MMA fighter. All it takes is intelligence here, and of course, a great martial arts base, yeah, to be great in MMA. Now, why Dana White only wants finishers? All right, cool, I understand why, but it's bollocks. If you think that finishing great superstars and stuff, and then when they make their debut, they flop and they fuck up and all this shit, you kind of you don't want that, bro. Yeah, it's all about talent. Yeah, it's all about talent. Anyone can throw a lucky punch or a lucky kick and knock someone out. It's MMA. Anything can happen. Combat sports is like that, bro. Boxing, whether you're a Glory Kickboxing One Championship, PFL, Bellator, the UFC, it happens. Yeah, if you throw a powerful strike, yeah, or throw up a submission, yeah, bro, you're bound to and you have that shit in tight, you're bound to get it done, man. Folks, we just had to invite Anthony Romero to the show. It is, folks. It is like that because you can't really say to people that, oh, finishing is what creates superstars. Yeah, it's exciting, it's electrifying, and yeah, you get those guys who technically finish their opponents, yeah, and technically dissect and piece up their opponents. But then you have the guys who do get the finishes, make their UFC debuts, and then choke. You want guys who are intelligent. You want guys who have the skills technically. You want guys who are exciting and push the pace. But you also want guys who win fights. That creates more competition, bro. It is it's like Sean O'Malley's your prototypical guy, man. He's not gonna go in there and just technically piece you up. He technically pieces you up and he finishes. That's the type of guy you should be looking for, whether it's a decision or a first round knockout. Honestly, I don't see. Um, I think it's something to behold. Folks, Anthony Romero is ready. Let's get it on. What's up, man? Wait one sec.
Do you hear me okay?
Yeah, that's better, bro. I was just gonna say unmute the mic, bro. Yeah, that's great, man. How you doing, Anthony, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well, bro. Welcome to MMA Reloaded, man. I know it's been a long road for you, man, for the past couple of weeks. But no, man, it's good to have you on, bro. And after I saw the performance, I was like, fuck yeah, man, he's got to be on the fucking podcast, bro. Uh, how's it been going, man, with COVID-19 and stuff, bro?
Everything's been good. I'm in quarantine right now. But yeah, everything's good. I got a smile on my face. I'm still undefeated. So yeah, all is good.
Yeah, man, that's the main thing, man. I mean, we'll touch on that a bit later on, bro. But you know, bro, being born in Canada, yeah, bro, and in Ontario, I see that you spent most of your career in the States. Yeah, bro. Was that the initial plan, bro, to jump straight from into Canada to compete in the States to make your name, or did you ever go into the Canadian MMA scene and compete there?
Yeah. So here in Canada, the rules are a little bit different. I believe they only have, unless things are changed, but they only have professional MMA. So there's a couple promotions that have professional fights. But at the time when I was going to the States, I was only an amateur, so I couldn't really compete on those shows. And that's where it was a little bit more legal in the States. So I was traveling there a lot more, and then just the opportunities came a lot more in the United States. There's a lot of promotions, so I tested my skills over there, and everything went well. And King of the Cage was where I spent most of my career, and they were just right over the border, so like 20 minutes from my house, and it just made sense for me just to go there and fight. So it wasn't that far.
No, definitely, man. I think you did the right thing, man, to jump through because, bro, and even King of the Cage, man, to have that place to start your career in, bro, is fucking nasty, man. I've chatted with a couple of guys from there, bro. It's a mosh pit of studs. Yeah, bro. How was it compete? I know because even before the contender series, you're competing at King of the Cage and fighting there, bro. How was that building up to that contender series appearance at King of the Cage, and how did you feel your career was progressing by being undefeated?
Yeah, they treated me well. They treated me like a champion. I never officially got the title, but they treated me like I was at home. Especially being 20 minutes away from my actual house.
Yeah.
They put me in a nice place. I had good fights. Like they weren't against guys who have losing records. They were tough guys. Some guys were undefeated. Like my second pro fight, I went against a guy who was 4-0, and I was only 1-0. So they gave me good challenges, and yeah, it was a great place for me to test my skills. Yeah, the only issue I had was because I was supposed to be on the contender series last year. They wouldn't let me go and compete, but other than that, they treated me very well, and yeah, I'd recommend them for anybody wanting to take one or two fights, but just be careful with contracts.
No, that's great advice, bro. I think when if you're in Legacy or if you're in King of the Cage or Cage Fury or anything like that, bro, that is the greatest place or some of the greatest promotions to build your name in. Yeah, and look, man, I'm chatting to an example right now, bro. Yeah, it was your time, man, and Anthony, bro, I have to touch on it. Yeah, yeah, the contender series appearance. Yeah, bro, we're just like a week out from it. Yeah, man. I have to say, bro, you came in, yeah, against a very tough guy against in Mike Breeden. Yeah, bro, you were 7-0, and at the time, man. How first of all, man, how did that opportunity come about, man? How did you get the call initially?
So yeah, there's been talks about taking a short notice fight. So I was always ready and in shape, and I knew the contender series happens in the summertime. But at this time, I was kind of unsure about what was going on with COVID going around. No one really knew what was next. So I just stayed ready. I was in shape, and then my manager called me about like first week of June and said that I have an opportunity with the contender series, and that's pretty much where I went. And then I went right into to training camp, but it wasn't a hard transition because a lot of people they start training camp overweight and out of shape, and then they have to use their training camp to get them back in shape. But for me, I was already in shape, so it was pretty much just developing my skills and just getting prepared for the fight in general.
Yeah, man. Did you have a lot of weight to cut, or was it just a few pounds and then you went straight into the routine?
Yeah, it was just straight into the routine. I don't really have a lot of weight to cut. A lot of people say I should go to 145, but I'm pretty comfortable at where I am now. And so far, I've been doing well. I haven't felt overpowered or oversized at all. So I think I'm doing pretty well, and I wouldn't want to put myself through that, where I would focus more on the weight cut rather than training and just getting better. Right, a lot of people cut too much weight and they stress, and their main focus is about making the weight rather than the fight. So
Yeah, man. No, you're right about that, bro. And then if you overtrain, yeah, bro, you get it affects the actual fight as well, right? So, no, man. I mean, looking at that fight, bro, on the contender, and I just watched it today, like for like the fifth time, yeah, bro. I have to say, bro, it was you came in, you look physically better than breathing. Yeah, bro. Your conditioning was better. You're moving lighter on your feet. Yeah, bro. And all I have to say is coming into that card, yeah, bro. And that card to me was the most talent stacked card I've ever seen on the contender season 4. Yeah, bro. And coming in, bro, and you're 23 years old. You were named as one of Canada's best lightweight prospects. Yeah, bro. And in your pre-contender interview, you said about your idolizing GSP and Joe St. Pierre, bro. How did you feel actually walking down that aisle? Did you feel the pressure coming in there, Anthony?
no, I didn't feel the pressure walking down. It was mostly in the hotel room. And then once I started warming up, I felt pretty good. But when I walked down there, it was just like normal, like it was meant to be. That I've been training for this my whole life, and I belong here. So that was pretty much what was going through my mind walking down. And yeah, it was a really great experience. It was pretty cool that people were messaging me after the fight and saying that yeah, we have a lot of things in common, me and GSP, which is pretty cool. It's one of the best in the sport. And yeah, it was pretty cool. Even the commentator was saying that I had similarities with GSP,
Yeah.
with Paul Felder. So that was really cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, if anyone looks at the fights, yeah, bro, looks at the fight, bro, the way you were setting up your takedowns, the way you were striking, yeah, bro, it was GSPS, man. Yeah, you couldn't, nobody could have asked for anything better than that, bro. And it kind of sucks that it didn't uh, work out in a contract for you, bro. But talk us, talk me through the fight, man, because today while I was watching it, I wasn't watching it as a fan. I was analyzing the shit out of it, bro. And round one, if you start, let's start from the beginning, yeah, bro. Round number one, yeah, bro. It was your typical feel out, yeah. But as the round started to progress, you started to time your shots a lot better, and because he was trying to throw his big right hand, yeah, and he was trying to catch you with a body kick a lot in that first round. He was trying to set it up, and then with you, bro, you were trying to move forward. You stepped and used your footwork to set up your striking. Yeah, but in that fight, in that round, bro, coming into the first round, yeah, bro, and as the round progressed, what did you think? How did you think the fight was going to play out in two and three?
I honestly felt really good. You can hear in the commentary they were saying that he has a lot of power.
Yeah,
And that was kind of like the main focus, is not to get caught. But I knew that I was a faster fighter, especially doing Taekwondo early in my career. I'm able to be light on my feet, so I'm able to be in and out and change my angles pretty easy. And he was a little bit more flat-footed, because that's where he gets his power from, is when he plants his feet on the ground. So that's kind of the idea, is to be in and out, moving. A lot of calf kicks, because he is heavy on that lead leg.
yeah,
And then other than that, it felt pretty good. And then eventually adding my wrestling, because I felt like he kind of expected it, watching my other fights.
yeah,
And a lot of people think that I'm just going to take him down and just try to hold him and ground and pound and all that, which I don't blame them, because that's when you see in my fights, it kind of ends up there. But that's because that's where I take advantage of it. But if people want to stand up, then I'm willing to stand up. I have that striking style. I've competed in national championships for kickboxing.
yeah.
Competed for Team Canada to go to the World Championships and all that. So I've dealt with a lot of great strikers, and I just prefer to be on the ground, because a lot of people aren't don't want to go there. So.
I mean, you masked first of all, bro. You're a the name genius isn't just a moniker with you, bro. It was real life shit. You display some real intelligence, man, and to have that maturity at 23, bro, is fucking amazing. I have to say. Um, in that fight, yeah, bro. In the second round, that's when you use your wrestling, yeah, bro. Because the first round you felt it out on the feet. Second round you exploded with a beautiful double leg. He came up, yeah, bro. You set up that vintage head kick, yeah, bro. The left kick, and that's when I thought you started to really find your feet in the second round. You started to be a lot more fast and push that pace. Um, Anthony, bro. Long story short, man. All I have to say is, congratulations on that fight, bro. And it must suck, man, to not get the contract at the end of it, man. How do you feel now? Now that it's been a week out and all that, man.
Uh, I'm good. I know at the time it sucked, because that was my goal, to get there, win, and get a contract. But
Yeah,
it didn't happen. But a little bit after that, I was okay. I had a smile on my face, and I knew that I had a lot of opportunity coming towards me, with other promotions, or even still with the UFC. I know they're always taking people for short notice fights. And there's a lot of lightweight fights and featherweight fights coming up. So there's always a possibility that someone can get hurt or sick, or visa issues or something like that. So I'm just always ready and willing to take that short notice fight to get into the UFC. So.
yeah, bro. I mean, that's the deal, man. Nowadays, that's what we've been seeing is short notice fights, and guys making their impact from taking a fight on short notice. But yeah, man, I think that would be such a great move for you, man, to jump on a short notice fight in the UFC. Would you be? I mean, bro, you just talked about featherweight as well, man. Would you be comfortable going to compete UFC featherweight?
Yeah, I'd be comfortable. It's just giving that time. I probably wouldn't take a short notice featherweight fight, but maybe a featherweight taking a catchweight fight, like 155, I could go down pretty easy. And then I would need some more time to go to 145. I've only gone there once as an amateur, but I never really got to see how I can compete because the fight got canceled. It fell through. So I got to the weight, but I never got to test my skills and see how my cardio was and all that. Yeah, so we'll see what opportunities come up. 45, 55, 70. Hopefully,
Seven.
something come up soon.
Wow, man, 70. Um, bro, Anthony, bro, of course, if anyone, your social media, bro, must be going fucking nuts, man. Yeah, like people must be like, holy shit, bro, you fucked him up. But because if you see ESPN MMA's Instagram, bro, yeah, it's like they show Breeden on the floor, yeah, actually going to the stool and he's holding his calf in that, bro. Yeah, because your calf kicks in that fight, bro, you masked your calf kicks so well. Yeah, he didn't read it. Like like you were throwing it with your right leg a lot more than you were throwing it with your lead. So it's so hard to make the read out of it, right? Um, and then when you were throwing it behind your jab and behind your right hand. Yeah, bro. So he couldn't read anything. And as the round went on, round three, I think he started to feel it a lot more. He was limping the shit out of himself. And round number three, yeah, bro. Uh, I mean, bro, that's some violent shit right there, man. Did you how did you feel? You know what, bro? I wanted to get your honest opinion. Yeah, how did you feel after that performance? Because to me, Dana White, yeah, is wrong when he only says that he wants finishes. Yeah, bro, a performance like that, yeah, and a couple of other performances I've seen on contender deserve that deserve contracts don't get it. Yeah, but how did you feel, man? Did you feel that performance, your performance deserved a contract? Because what I do, man.
Oh yeah, of course. I felt like I did more than enough. I showed all the skills that I have. Some guys they'll win with a great performance, like they'll get a knockout within a minute, but they don't get to show their grappling or striking. So what's gonna happen when they go to the UFC and they go
Yeah,
against a grappler? They're gonna feel like a fish out of water, right? But yeah, like I did what I did, and I'm not regretting anything. I'm very happy with my performance, and I can tell the improvements that I've been making over time, especially with my striking, feeling more comfortable. Looking back at my older fights, it was always grappling. There's a lot of grappling that I had, but people get better and better, and people get better at defending the takedown. So I need to be able to mix it up, throw the striking, and then go to the takedown, or make people think I'm going for the takedown. So it's just a game. You got to be good everywhere. So.
right, man. There's levels to it, bro, and I think you're right there for it, man. I think you're setting it up well right now, bro. And at 23, man, I wouldn't be so hard on yourself, bro. You're busting your ass, from what I can tell. Yeah, you're coming in shredded as hell, man. Yeah, and you look great inside the cage. Uh, you know, Anthony, but for you coming from a striking background and Taekwondo and kickboxing, bro, and winning world championships in striking, yeah, bro, Taekwondo and kickboxing, how did you feel when you had to make that transition into MMA and learn wrestling and be able to mix it up the way it takes?
I think the hardest thing was wrestling. Wrestling's such a tough sport. I jumped into to training with the Brock University here in St. Catharines, and they're like the best team in Canada. And they have a lot of Olympians, former Olympians. So jumping in there was probably the hardest transition because it's such a tough sport. And there's a lot of grind that goes behind wrestling. So once I learned a little bit of it, I felt like it was a big improvement in my MMA game. If you ask me to wrestle a wrestler, it's super tough. I'm gonna look like a little kid. But when I put it into MMA, then it's a big difference, and there's a lot of opportunities to use the wrestling, mixing it up with striking, and it's hard when you have to do just straight wrestling. So I really admire those who compete in wrestling because it's such a tough sport.
Yeah, man. Do you think grappling right now in the game is a bit underappreciated? Because people sometimes fans or critics don't understand the what it takes to actually be a grappler, bro, and that grappling takes such intelligence to make the transitions, to score the takedowns, keep the guy down and get the control. And then you hear all these guys on social media, uh, critics and new fans, basically saying that they've been the guy's humping him or it's backpacking or something like that, bro. When it's a transition or when he's trying to go for a submission, they start hating, man. Do you think? How do you feel when you see fans like that, man, and social media comments?
I think it'll always be like that, unfortunately. But I think that's only for people who are just starting to watch it. You always have those people at the bar who just want to see people punch.
Yeah, exactly.
But you get the people who actually train and have been studying the sport for a long time who do appreciate the grappling. Myself included. I appreciate the grappling. But like I said, you go out in public and people boo you for getting a takedown because they just want to see people punch each other. But I think if you want to see people punch each other, go watch boxing, because that's all they do, right? They just punch
Yeah.
each other. So it's just a different sport.
No, man. I think when we talked about you taking short notice fights and possibly 170, yeah, but I'd love for you to go to 170, man. You're gonna look huge. Um, uh, what do you normally walk around, Anthony? What's your walk around weight at the moment?
Walk around weights like 180. Just normal. That's just eating, training regularly. So not too bad for me.
So you generally just have to cut 10, 15 pounds in at camp, or is that?
Yeah. Well, once the training picks up, because like when I'm outside of camp, I train regularly, so I'll train, but the intensity is not that high up, so I'm not burning as many calories as I would be,
Yeah.
which is normal. I'm pretty much just developing my skills. But then once I'm in camp, I'm doing a lot more live goes, more sparring. So the calories are really being burnt when I'm in camp. So it's just a little bit different. It's a little bit easier for me to make weight. But other than that, it's just normal for me. The weight cut's not bad at all. So I'm pretty content with where I am right now.
You, I think, are you training? Are you training in Canada right now, bro? NTT or with?
Niagara Top Team and
Yeah.
yeah, Niagara Top Team and Parabellum MMA.
How does it feel to train in Canada, man? Because obviously it must be different in the States. The weather is different, bro. The altitude's different. How does it feel to be? How does it feel when you're training in Canada, man?
It feels good. Right now it's pretty much like it's hot right now, so we had some pretty sweaty grappling sessions in this camp. But other than that, it's pretty normal. When I went to Vegas though, it was a little bit different. It was dry, so we're not used to that here in Canada, the desert weather. So I went there a little bit early just to get adjusted. I trained at the PI for a little bit, and other than that, it was pretty good. My body felt good during the fights. Like I didn't feel super tired or anything like that. And I think there's a little bit of a difference in altitude as well, but it wasn't that bad at all.
Did you growing up here, bro, and of course, being a young stud right now at 23, did you always follow? Did you follow the UFC when they were doing the Ultimate Fighter?
I think the first Ultimate Fighter I watched was with Kimbo Slice. That was my
Oh,
first
cool.
one. Um, I watched the first Ultimate Fighter, but only the finale. So I only watched Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner. But the full season I watched was with Kimbo Slice.
Damn, man. Did you? So the reason why I asked that, yeah, Anthony, is okay, cool. So say the contender wasn't around, yeah, bro, and say that you were competing to go on the Ultimate Fighter, yeah, bro. Did you? How would you feel if you actually if that was actually the case?
To go on the Ultimate Fighter, that would be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind it. Like I said, the weight cut's not hard for me, so I'd probably still stay at 155 because you'd have to make it a bunch of times. So I wouldn't mind that at all. And I really wanted to try out for the one season they had the undefeated season. They're like lightweights and featherweights, but I think you had to be like 23, and I was like 21 or 22 at the time. And I only had 4 fights. So there's a couple people that I fought against that tried out for it. And there was a couple people, or actually, before I fought them, they tried out for it, and then I fought them, and then I beat them. So it was pretty cool to see that I could hang out with that level of competition.
Yeah, bro, you got no problem there, man. You got no problem there, bro. Yeah, wait until Dana gives you that call, man. Yeah, you're gonna go straight back into the cage and do business, bro. I guarantee my fucking life on it. Oh man, for you, bro. I remember watching the contender, and you said that you actually got to spar with George St. Pierre, yeah, bro, as a kid, and that sounds fucking amazing, yeah, bro. How was that? How was that experience for you, man? How old were you at that time, bro?
I believe I think I was 17, maybe 18. That was my first trip to Montreal, and I didn't really know what to expect. I was just pretty much as a kid. I never really traveled by myself. Like I've traveled to different countries, but with a team and all that. Um, but this time I traveled by myself, and it was a cool experience. When I saw him, I just kind of like I didn't really know what to say or do or anything like that because it's like meeting your superhero or like your favorite movie star or rapper or something like that. And that's my idol, George St. Pierre. So when the coach there, Faraz Zahabi, he's like, "Oh, you're gonna spar George today." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then I kind of like looked at him and I was like, I don't know what to do because it didn't feel real. But I was young then. I didn't wrestle at all. So obviously he threw me around, but yeah, it was a really cool experience, and yeah, I'm just getting used to all that stuff. Like I went to the PI and I saw a bunch of fighters there, and I was kind of like I was cool about it, and it was cool to see those guys. But I gotta remind myself that I'm one of those guys too, right? I belong there, and people are gonna feel the same when they see me. So it's just treated like normal. Because I know a lot of people would go in there and it's like, hey, can you take a picture with me? Can you take a picture with me? And just kind of go around. But yeah, but that place is you got to make sure that you're cool about it, and just cool to say that you like I met a couple people. So
Damn right, man. I mean, inside it's cool to feel starstruck, man, but outside there you gotta be cool. And
exactly, yeah.
yo, what's up? How what's your mindset like right now, man? How soon do you want to get back in there? Do you want to wait for the UFC short notice, or do you want to go for Legacy or King of the Cage or a Bellator or anything like that, man?
Right now, I'm in a good spot. I'm pretty comfortable with waiting. Like I'm only 23. Next year I'll be 24, just still young. So I'm pretty content with waiting, and I know there's especially now is the best time to just to stay ready. There's a lot of opportunity, and like I'm in no rush. So if I'm not getting the opportunity to go to the UFC, there's other places like Bellator for sure. But other than that, I'm in a good spot. I don't feel like it's necessary to go down to the local shows right now because I'm not in a rush. I'm not dying to get a fight. And right now I'm in a good spot. So I'm gonna take advantage of it, and hopefully something will come up soon. But if not, Bellator will be there for sure. So.
Damn right, man. That's a real mature outlook, man. I think, bro, talking to you and then seeing some of the young guys in the UFC that are in there right now, like Sean O'Malley and stuff, bro. You kind of think, okay, shit, bro, you were no one like 2 years ago. You come into the UFC and think you're all that. How do you perceive like that sort of attitude in mixed martial arts when if you're a young guy and you get like two, three good performances, knockouts under your belt, hype starts building up, and you think that it can go to your head real quick, man. How do you perceive that sort of attitude in MMA, man? Do you think that they should tone it down and it's unnecessary, or it's good to be confident and cocky?
Um, I think it takes a certain type of person to become to be cocky, or to like kind of follow up with that type of attitude. For me, like I come from a small town. I have a lot of people around me that humble me. They don't praise me. Like my coaches, they're not yes men. My family, they know who I am, and they know, like, they always say, like, don't float, don't leave the ground, because keep your feet on the ground and just keep working hard. And you're never done. You never reach that level of perfection. There's always room to improve. There's always room to work. And I just kind of be myself. I'm pretty, like, my post fight interview on the Contender Series. I liked it. It was good. And I think what it is, the adrenaline.
Oh fuck.
But I always make
Fuck,
sure
fuck.
there's that line of and just being humble, and just like I said, I'll be happy, I'll be energetic in my interviews, but inside I know who I am, and I know that I'm never more than anybody else. So.
I mean, bro, I saw online once, yeah, when I was actually doing my research, yeah, I dig it up, you know what I mean, and um, and you said that going forward you're going to be a lot more violent from now on, bro. Did you? Was that like after that performance here, bro, on the Contender? What was going through your mind, man? Did you think, fuck yeah, I can go another 20, 25 minutes, or did you think, all right, cool, that's enough to get me a contract from there, man?
Like I felt good. I put my heart in that performance.
Yeah.
And like he said, I just wasn't ready to get in there. But I felt really good, and yeah, I could, in training I go 5-6 rounds. So there's always room to keep going, and I have that confidence to keep going. And if it did go another round, I don't know if he would be able to stand up, because those kicks were pretty hard, and you could see that he was struggling with them. But yeah, like I'm pretty good everywhere. So.
And and speaking as a fighter, yeah, Anthony, and bro, and as a martial artist, as a guy who's done kickboxing and taekwondo since he was a kid, how important is it for a striker to be unpredictable, especially in a UFC fight or an MMA fight if you're going 5 rounds? How important is it for a striker to be unpredictable and not just to be wild, but to use their technical prowess um, and sort of intelligence, fight IQ? How important is that if you're a striker, man?
Oh, it's super important. If you one small move, you make a big mistake, and it's the complete opposite. You're looking up at the ceiling, and the fight's over. So it's super important. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, you should have just finished the fight," but it's not that easy. Like, unless you've been in there, then you can say a little bit, but when you get in there, yeah, I'm kicking his legs. He's limping a little bit, but what if I just put my hand down for a split second? He throws a crazy punch, and then I'm out. Like, look at how technical the Cody Garbrandt knockout was, when he like leaned down and then he whipped his arm across and knocked him out. Like, yeah, that was cool, but like, look what happened. Like, the guy just got his head knocked off, and that was a great knockout, one of my favorite ones. But you could see that there was just a lot of like aggression and power just out of nowhere. And who knows, my opponent could have easily done that, and I would have been on the canvas. So it's there's a lot that goes into it, and there's a lot that people don't realize. And I know it's easy, like when you watch a fight, you're like, oh, why didn't he do this or do that? But it's totally different when you have that point of view of the guy in front of you, and there's a lot of possibilities that could happen, especially in MMA. Takedowns, punches, knees, elbows. There's so many things you can do in the sport, so you got to make sure everything's very calculated.
No, man, fucking right, man. I think you're so right, bro. I think to have that fight IQ is not to just punch the guy's head off. Yeah, it's to use your brain and not just to use your fist or your feet. Bro, for a guy like you, yeah, bro, and to use your wrestling the way you do in a fight, and do you have that certain? Does your corner sort of tell you, all right, Anthony, now's your time to use your wrestling, or now's your time to use your striking a lot more, push the pace? Because in the first round, bro, was that your typical first round in your fights to feel it out on the feet and then use your wrestling later on?
Sometimes I get the wrestling right away. It just depends. Like I was saying, the guy pretty much expected me to take him down. You could tell by his takedown defense that he did pretty well getting back up. So he really worked on that for sure, because watching his other fights, I think he got taken down a couple times in his past fights, and he kind of stayed on the ground a little bit, and then he got back up. But yeah, there's a big difference. So I could tell that he really improved that.
Fuck's sake, bro.
Part of the game, and that's something that I'm expecting, like, pretty easy, because they just expect it, right? And then just working on breaking them down slowly, going for that wrestling, because people will just try to wrestle aggressively, and then they'll get tired, and then they're losing. So just being smart with it and taking that smart approach.
Well, man, I mean, you're damn right, man. It's all about the element of surprise and element of maturity, I guess. Um, bro, as a fighter looking in, yeah, bro, and being on that stage as you were at your age, how do you see the UFC lightweight division right now, bro? As a fighter and as a fan looking in, man, how do you see that lightweight division?
Oh, it's a great division. It's an exciting division. There's a lot of great matchups for me. I'm excited for what's to come. They're all killers. They're all there for a reason. Especially look at that top five. I think I saw a stat that all the top five have either held an interim title or the full world title. So compared to other divisions, it's crazy. Usually maybe one or two guys have had the title in the division. So it's crazy to see that all like five guys have had some piece of the title. So I'm just excited, and all those guys have started like me. They've started from the bottom, and now look where they are. So I can do the exact same, and one day even better. So.
No, man, I have no doubt about that, man. You're a fucking star, bro. Yeah, and you're gonna be a star, man. No doubt about it, bro. The genius Anthony Romero, ladies and gentlemen. Folks, Anthony, bro, it was a pleasure, man. Thank you for reaching out and back to me, bro. And I hope to do this again with you, man. No doubt about it, bro. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. That was fun.
Thank you very much, man.